Campaigners for the Waspi women, affected by the increasing state pension age, expressed outrage on Tuesday after Work and Pensions Secretary Liz Kendall announced that taxpayers would not provide compensation. Kendall informed MPs that the government acknowledged the Parliamentary and Health Service Ombudsman's findings from earlier this year, which stated that her department had inadequately communicated the changes. However, she dismissed the recommendation for a flat-rate compensation scheme, which would pay between £1,000 and £2,950 to over 3 million impacted women. In explaining the government's stance, Kendall referenced a 2006 survey indicating that 90% of women in the relevant age group were aware of the impending changes. She stated, "Since the vast majority of women knew the state pension age was increasing, the government believes that compensating all women with a flat rate costing up to £10.5 billion would be unfair to taxpayers." Angela Madden, chair of the Women Against State Pension Inequality, Waspi, campaign, criticized the announcement, calling it bizarre and unjustified. She questioned the purpose of an ombudsman if ministers can disregard their recommendations, comparing the decision to actions by Boris Johnson and Donald Trump. Steve Darling, the Liberal Democrats' Work and Pension spokesperson, described it as a day of shame for Labour, accusing the new government of abandoning millions of wronged pension-age women and ignoring the Ombudsman's recommendations. Kirsty Blackman, the SNP's Work and Pension spokesperson, labelled the decision a devastating betrayal of the Waspi women, noting that Scottish Labour leader Anna Sarwar had supported their cause. Sharon Graham, General Secretary of the Unite Union, criticised the government's choices, warning that voters would not forgive them. Unite and other Labour-supporting unions have also condemned the removal of the winter fuel allowance for most pensioners this winter. In 1995, John Major's Conservative government introduced legislation to gradually raise women's state pension age from 60 to 65 between 2010 and 2020 to align with men's ages, a timeline that was accelerated in 2011. Waspi campaigners argue that women born between 1950 and 1960 faced this change without sufficient warning, with some not receiving personal notification of the plans. Many affected women have found themselves in financial difficulties upon reaching 60, the age they expected to begin receiving the state pension, which is currently £221.20 per week. While Kendall acknowledged the Ombudsman's finding of maladministration regarding the Department for Work and Pensions delays in notifying individuals, she claimed that the letters were not as significant as the Ombudsman suggested. Following the release of the Ombudsman's report in March, neither Rishi Sunak's Conservative government nor Labour confirmed whether they would accept the compensation recommendation. However, in the House of Commons on Tuesday, Kendall's counterpart, Helen Watt-Ely, asserted that Labour must take responsibility for the decision against funding such a scheme, stating, "The decision to provide no compensation is the government's decision and they need to own it." During a visit to Estonia, Keir Starmer, when questioned about the issue, stated he did not believe it was appropriate for taxpayers to bear the costs of compensation. He acknowledged the concerns of the Waspi women but emphasized the need to avoid imposing additional burdens on taxpayers. Ros Altman, a former pensions minister and a Waspi woman herself, expressed that she would not want taxpayers to compensate her personally, as she was aware of the changes. Please like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more updates.